An investor for the last 42 years, buy and sell real estate. Been doing it since I was 19 years old. Made tens of millions of dollars doing it. Had a lot of fun on the way. Got 4 kids, and life has been really good. I've been fortunate. I bought my first property when I was 19 years old, and I haven't had the struggles that a lot of people have. But I do. My heart kind of goes out to people that are 30, 40, 50 years old. And younger that want to make money in real estate or the different ways that money can be made, business and otherwise, and sometimes being misled either purposely or not purposely. Let's just say. Anyways, today we're going to talk about Ryan Pineda. The title is Ryan Pineda, is he a scam or scammy? And these are titles that actually I think he's even used himself on some of his videos, and I'm not going to go heavy commenting and bashing on Ryan. I think he's a nice guy. I don't think he is terribly experienced. Some of the things he's done lately, it just makes me kind of question, like, where's this going? You guys can tell me what you think, or say what your thoughts are. So has anybody taken a Ryan Pineda course, or has anybody made any money with Ryan Pineda's advice? I actually have somebody in my class that flipped some couches, and they felt that they got that from Ryan. And I have always been a big believer in buying and selling used. It's where I've made a ton of money on things, and particularly real estate. Listen, all real estate is used. It's all used, right? Everything was here was here long before you and the previous people that owned the property before you. So it is a fantastic way to make money, is buying anything used for that matter. But so look back to Ryan Pineda, and here real quick, if you don't have my book, get my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. It's been a bestseller on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. Also, I have a mentorship, Flip Anything USA. Go to flipanythingusa.com. I already got several millionaires, people that have made $1 million since being in my class, and I'm talking about realized $1 million cash. Some of them have realized more than that, and even have millions, plural, in equity. In properties that they've rolled that cash into. So it's a really cool thing to see people replicating my success, and the fact that I get to be a part of it and teach them, what I've been doing over the years. So if you just got here, please hit that subscribe button, and it helps the channel, but also it'll help you. Like I say, if you don't have my book, you definitely want to get my book and get it on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. It's Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate, and like I said, it's been a bestseller there as well. So, again, let's go back here to Ryan. All right, so here's one of the things why I asked scam or scammy. So you see this thumbnail that Ryan Pineda has. Good-looking building, looks like it's a 6-story with the penthouse on top, and it's how I bought, 334 units. Looks like a beautiful building, Ryan. It's impressive. But this is misleading, okay? Now, I don't know if you think that's scammy or, it makes you kind of look like a scam when you have stuff like this. So now let's take a look at the units. You saw the thumbnail.
Recently, I just...
There we go. There you go. So this is the property that he purchased, but you saw the thumbnail. The thumbnail was a beautiful modern 5-story building, and he had 30 million on there. In fact, I did a video that was on this because look, this looks like an army barracks, okay? I mean, this is what I would call a C-class property. And I've owned stuff like this, and I've made millions of dollars on apartment buildings, by the way. And so I'm not critical of the property. It's the representation of the asset. And so, again, this is the reality, okay? And this, going back to the thumbnail, is the representation. The other thing is I looked at the property. I remember, I wouldn't have paid $9 million for that property. I remember looking at it. I looked it up, and it was, they walked through it. There was holes in the wall in the laundry room. The place was ripped to shit. And it reminded me actually of me when I was a kid and I lived in a shitty trailer park. That's what it looked like, okay? And show you property, and I jump all over the globe, right? I show people, and when I show property and I tell people how much money I made, I've made $1 million on something. I probably made closer to $1.5 million, because I don't want to misrepresent. And I don't want to, do that. So again, so now let's look at some more of this. I want to show you something else here. This is kind of interesting to me. So look at here, Ryan Pineda, exposing Ryan Pineda. I paid him $3,000, future flipper mastermind event, is he a fake guru? So this is what kind of like clickbait, right? I mean, or you maybe think it's something factual, and maybe there's some exposure here of some sort.
Hey guys, Hazel Gakula here. I'm at Ryan Pineda's mastermind event. I spent a lot of money.
So anyways, but see, when you go down in here and you take a look, I mean, this is kind of the definition of a shill. Okay, somebody's shilling. Get a $500 check if you join Ryan Pineda's mentorship and use me as a referral. Text or call. $500 back if you join from her. I guess she's going to send it to you from what I gather. But what's kind of implied is if she recruits and gets people into Ryan Pineda's course, which I think somebody down there said, how much is it? It's $8,800. So you pay $8,800, presumably. She gets a check because I think there's a link that connects her to this. And then, there it is. Yeah, wealthyinvestor.com affiliate. If you listen, I always say you can't trust anybody that stands to make a profit on you. And that means me included, right? You got to do your due diligence when you're checking somebody out. And when somebody overrepresents and underserved, like in the case of that thumbnail, it's a flag. It's a flag. And I know, and I'd be happy to interview you, Ryan. We could talk about it. This is a little bit scammy, exposing Ryan Pineda, and then you go in and she's just shilling for him. And, look, you can pay a $500 check if you join, anyways. What do you guys think? Tom, you should style your hair like Ryan's. Yeah, actually, that's funny you say that. Yeah, the hair. Yeah, so the hair. He's got a video in here where he says, well, I spend $100 a week on my hair. Just the fact that you would spend an hour on your hair a week, or maybe it's 2 hours. I don't know, but it tells me. I mean, listen, it's all. It's style more over substance. I want to see substance. I want to see real estate. I want to see money. I don't want to see a $9 or $8 million building represented as a $30 million building. I want to see an actual picture of the building on the thumbnail, if that's what you're talking about. And then there's been more of a bromance here with him and Grant Cardone that I've been looking at, and I've seen multiple images, him and Grant. In fact, he's got one in here where, Grant Cardone, I think he says Grant Cardone is legit somewhere. Anyways, anybody out there, got anything good to say about Ryan? Have you, have you experienced his program? Have you seen any money that he's made? I remember seeing a 32-unit apartment building. It looked like he bought pretty well. But a polished turd is still a turd. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just all the hairdos and the time. I mean, is pretty easy. Oh, it's pretty easy. I get that he's referring to himself here. Anyways. So Joe wrote, Tom, what are your thoughts on becoming a real estate agent in these times? And is residential, commercial real estate, they're both great. It doesn't matter. Listen, Joe, the thing with real estate is all real estate is good. It's all good. There is no bad real estate. There's just bad deals. Just don't make a bad deal. That's what I tell my students all the time. There is no bad real estate. I've been in Compton and, seen properties that had, needles and very, very tough neighborhoods that there's money to be made on. There were some of them went to auction. It's not my neighborhood. I wasn't going to buy there. But I went down there, I checked it out, and I watched somebody buy, a place that, when I walked in, I started walking in, went back, grabbed a pistol up from under the seat, and then walked for it. And that was back in the 80s. And, So, you can see a junkyard. A junkyard, you're thinking, oh, gee, this is, all this junk. Well, junkyards are gold too, by the way, just because they don't allow you to have junkyards anymore. So they're kind of what grandfathered in. When it's already existing, it's been there a long time. I've seen junkyards along riverbanks, and there's cars and stuff, and they worry about the oil leaking in the ground, all this sort of thing. But they've been doing it for forever, and so they've already got it. It's already established. It's already there, and so stuff like that can be very, very valuable. But as far as becoming a real estate agent, listen, I've always made money. I've been through a lot of downturns in 42 years, and I started in a terrible one. Where interest rates were higher than they are right now. You guys think rates are high now? They're not. They're not near as high as they used to be when I started, and there's always money to be made. It's just math. And right now, in fact, I had a student that was going through, look, I got 350 hours of course content in my class now. And he's gone through the course, 28-hour course, and now he's going through all the videos from going back 2.5 years, all these 3-hour to 5-hour mentorship meetings. And he's diligently going through them all. And he's smart. It's the perfect thing to do because there's just so many. It's hard. Even when I do a webinar, I jump all over the map and I show people all the properties that I've actually bought, profited on, and I'm talking individual lots, large acreage, apartment buildings, properties at the beach. I can't even do all of them. In fact, every webinar is different, even though I'm usually showing all my different properties that I've bought, not all of them, but a bunch of them. Depending on the question that gets asked, I'll take you to a completely different area on a different type of property. Boo Dog wrote, hey Tom, one of your videos titled something women cars, Milwaukee. I remember that one actually. Don't get distracted. I meant to click on it, but refreshed my feed and I can't find it now. Yeah, I do. I can tell you what it is. It was Money, Women, and Cars. Money, Women, and Cars. A buddy of mine, Dan Compton, from way back, I haven't seen him in many years. The best man at his wedding. And, his wife didn't really like me, so we never really stayed in touch. But he had a word, just a saying that he liked, and I remember I borrowed it for the first email I created when I got my email in 1994. Yeah, it was Milwaukee, Money, Women, and Cars. And the M-O, Money, W-O, Women, C-A, Cars, Milwaukee. Anyways, but I remember for a brief time I had an email, Milwaukee@yahoo.com or something like that. Or anyways, maybe it was, I'm thinking of a corporation, Milwaukee Corporation, that we had created. Anyways, I think that's it. That's probably it, Ben. But it's what you find motivation in. And I think what the point of that video you're talking about was, like when you're a young man, you're girl crazy, and then you're looking, what helps money, women, cars. Really, that's kind of what primarily was on my mind when I was younger. Money in that order: money, women, and then cars. And, number one was money because I came from super modest means. And like I said, I lived in a trailer park that was as bad as that apartment complex that Ryan bought. And it's not a great lifestyle. And so I was motivated to make money, and that's what I concentrated on. But anyways, what else is going on out there? I apologize for the terrible internet. It's funny. I actually just got near fiber speed internet today. Although I think the signal's fine. I think everything's going well. But this is I'm supposed to have a new computer in here today as well. This thing's inexplainably kind of bogged down. That's why it's not moving so well. But anyways, I enjoy talking about real estate and, the things that I like to do when it comes to property. And I don't even know if I can show you on here right now because everything's moving so slow, is I like to show you real deals. Actually, I bought a house actually on this lake not that long ago. And, and I got a great deal on it. I'm not going to get into too much detail on that one. But, whether it's apartment buildings, houses, commercial buildings, in other words, this is what a real mentor should be able to do. They should, listen, and like I said, there's been this bromance here with, Grant Cardone, and actually it seems like Grant Cardone's kind of like buddying up to everybody he'd normally be competing with, and I think basically he's just basically selling his influence, pretending to be everybody's buddy for a price, I'm sure, and why not? He's got 1.8 million gullible people that watch him. They're a good audience, I reckon it to YouTubers are just meat to be eaten, to be quite honest. And I won't misrepresent. I will not. I won't take. I turn people down that want to get in my class because I don't care about the money. I care about whether or not you have what it takes to become successful. And I'm not going to take somebody's money if I don't think they're going to do well. I don't need your money. I don't need your money. And I don't need my time wasted. And that's probably more important to me than anything, is I don't like wasting my time. Like somebody will ask a bunch of questions sometimes, and it's like, watch the frickin' video. Watch the video. Anyways, I don't mind questions, don't get me wrong. But, there's some questions like, that are just, I tell people, just get the book. It's just simpler. It's one of the things that drove me to putting the book out was the fact that I was helping so many people, but I was answering the same questions 10 times a week in email. So I made the book, and the book turned into people asking to do the mentorship. Now the mentorship has been served a lot of people well. And hey, good to see you in here, Liam, by the way. Really appreciate it. Liam Rod, I didn't see Liam's comment. He goes, that place is a welfare hotel. Yeah, no, you know what? It's not. It's definitely a C, maybe a D property. I don't know, but it doesn't seem to have the amenities you would expect. And like I said, when I looked up that property, it also had about the highest crime rate in that city. I think it was even it was like in the top 8% or something like that for the whole country, and it was one of the worst areas in the state. And so again. I get it, but not really. I remember, I'm going to show you guys a property real quick here. I'm going to show you a property I made $1.5 million on, and I paid $240,000 for this property, and I sold it for $1,725,000. And so really I made probably a couple $1 million if I count the rents and the income from it. Now, is this pretty? It is to me. It looks like $1.5 million, right? Now, I don't need to. I would shoot a picture of this. If Ryan really thought that property, has some value, why wouldn't you just take a picture of the actual property and say $30 million? It's laughable. Number one, I guess I get that. But again, it's something Grant Cardone had said, and I got to find that video. And he was talking about, yeah, it's okay just to exaggerate. Just, when you make people interested, just exaggerate a little. And I'm kind of paraphrasing, but it was something like that. Well, when you're exaggerating a little about how much money you can make or how much money you have made, that's considered a lie, okay? And so I worry a little bit about Ryan and his influence. And okay, so look, confronting Cardone, touring Grant Cardone's 10 times office, and you see there, buddy scene here, 10 times health expose, billionaire, confronting Grant Cardone. This is, it's just like one thing after another for a year or so. And the thing is, Grant, look, and there's the hair again. Look at purple hair, green hair, pink hair. It's just a lot of primping. I just don't even get it. Even the outfits. It's like he's got more out. He changes his hair and outfits more than my grandmother. Okay, it's just silly to me. Anyways, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you rather have somebody authentically showing you the properties that they made? And I did see something that he said he learned from Grant, and that's being just showing off the assets. And I get it. If you want to be a millionaire voyeur, and I just think that that's kind of what their audience is they're people that that really are out of touch with reality. I don't mind dreaming, but I like to work toward the dream. get rich quick with little or no effort. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I understand the appeal of that, and believe me, the most easiest people to take advantage of is gullible people. There's really three categories: gullible, desperate, and greedy. Gullible, desperate, and greedy. If you're greedy, I mean, these people get scammed on, a lot of pyramid scams. Just greed. And they risk it, and then they get taken. Then there's gullible, which are just simply people that just do and trust anybody. And I call it the G Willikers. She's like, oh gosh, G Willikers, that's a good deal. Thank you very much, sir. And they're getting taken. I call it the G Williker gene. Some people have the G Willikers gene. And then there's desperate, and that's the worst. That's the worst. And believe me, my emails, I got so many emails from young men that have been taken for thousands of dollars, and they feel they've been scammed by Grant Cardone, to be quite honest. I'd be happy to share that with you, Grant, if you ever want to see or try to remedy it. I'll share those with you. And look, like Grant, this is the best asset class in the world. This, I'll point to a $40 million building that the gullible and desperate, and maybe even greedy can't afford, and you got to get in on this. Well, I mean, the fact is that it's the returns are about 4.5% on average from what I've seen from anybody that's invested with Grant Cardone. That's like the best they've gotten is like 4.5%, or maybe it's less than that. And again, and they have no access to their money, and they can't even borrow money against that. In other words, that kind of asset isn't even respected, by the banks, and so because you have no control. And so to tell people that this is the way to go and to invest in this, and this is, it's silly. You're not going to get rich making 4% on your money. You're not going to get rich making 20% on your money. You have to double and redouble and triple in your money over and over and over again till you have enough. Once you have enough that you can live on 4% interest on your property, then you're in great shape. But until you get to a point that you can actually live on 4% of your income, in fact, I remember that was my goal like 40 years ago. So I thought I'd just like to be able to live on 5%. In other words, I was thinking in my mind, have $10 million, have $500,000 a year come in. And makes sense to me. But at the time, my goals have far changed from that. And believe me, $1 million house is nothing like it used to be. $1 million is like a 2-bedroom, 1 bath in some neighborhoods. It's nothing. $1 million home, when you used to dream about $1 million home, it was really like a $10 million home now. Anyways, hey, that's it. It's Friday. I will see you guys in the mentorship tomorrow. Those of you that are in the class, thanks for coming into the webinar. By the way, I have a webinar every Thursday. It's always it's a nice group. It's always people that are interested in making money, and that's why I say I like mature adults. You can be under 30, but 30, 40, 50 years old. Listen, you're nobody's fool. You can smell a scam when you see one. Those are the guys. Those are the kind of people that I want in the class. People that aren't gullible and vulnerable. I want people that are smart, and are savvy, because what I'm selling is real. And if you want a real mentor with real experience that has can jump all over the globe and show you all kinds of property, like I just did a little bit ago, I'm your guy. Now, if you want a primper or somebody that wants to just flash their assets in front of you and keep you thinking about dream, but very little facts or substantive things that are going to get you there, then there's all kinds of alternatives out there for that. So hit that subscribe button. If you want to learn about real estate, this is the place to do it. Watch my videos. I've done probably over 1,300 videos. I bought just about every kind of property that you drive by every day, and I'm a very relevant mentor for people that are watching, because the kind of properties that I buy are the kinds that most of you can afford. Now, I buy multi-million-dollar buildings. I have, commercial strip centers, big industrial properties, big commercial pieces of land. I buy just about anything and everything. As long as I understand and feel good about the value, I'll buy anything. That's the key thing. You have to understand value. If you know value, you can make money on anything. You can make a lot of money in a neighborhood on a lot of different properties. If all you want to do is concentrate on duplexes, sure, knock you out, but your geographic area is going to get really, really big. If you have a great knowledge of just what things are worth in general in your neighborhood, you can make money on everything. Apartment buildings, trailer parks, whatever, gas stations, everything. You can make money in everything if you understand value better in your area around you. I have a thing what I call barbells, right? Where just say that each of these fingers represents a property that I own around my home, and here's another one that represents properties that I own around my business, my office, and then I own the path between the two. I own properties in between, all along the way. Now these could be two different states, and where I fly back and forth, and have a cluster of each. But that's what it's been, and when you get in the webinar, that's kind of what I show you. Is I show you how, in my 20s. That's what I did. I bought a bunch of properties around home, around my office, and I bought properties in between. And then here I am still today, much bigger barbells, much more valuable properties. But this is what you can do. It's tax time, folks. So I've been scrambling. I got a lot of property and a lot of different tax returns. And Flip Anything USA, thanks for watching. Again, hit that subscribe, and we'll see you guys later.